It was 1 a.m. when I came home from my bestie's birthday party. As I was sneaking through the window into my room, I heard footsteps. Shoot! It's Ball! I jumped straight into bed, covered myself with a blanket, and pretended to close my eyes. My sister came into the room, coming very close to me to make sure I was asleep. Seeing nothing out of the ordinary, Ball pulled the blanket for me. Sleep tight, sis. I hope you'll always behave. Whew, close call. Hi, I'm Leia. I'm turning 15 this year, and I'm living with my older sister, Ball. After our parents passed away in a car accident 2 years ago, Ball became my only relative. But I always hid her from my friends because my sister has an eccentric appearance, an unpleasant personality, and she has a job that not many women choose to do, a taxi driver. As usual, before leaving the house to start her evening shift, Ball told me, "Study well and go to bed early. Absolutely don't leave the house, okay?" I replied obediently, "Yep." Before leaving the house, Ball even carefully locked the door from the outside. But she didn't expect that I had secretly built a ladder to sneak out from my room window. After Ball left, I immediately called Luna, hurriedly put on makeup, and changed into a very smexy outfit. Ken, an upperclassman, drove us all the way to the party at Sam's house. After a few hours, when I looked at the clock, I was startled because it was already past 12 a.m. I hurriedly urged Luna, "Shoot! It's too late, I have to go home. Ball will finish her shift at 1 a.m., by which time I should be in bed. We gotta go look for Ken then." But to our horror, he was lying unconscious under the table in a drunken state. Sam exclaimed, "He stole my dad's bottle of wine and emptied it." Damn it! Ben was the only one who knew how to drive, and I must go home soon. With no other choice, Luna and I had to carry Ken to the street to stand and hail a taxi. Fortunately, a taxi stopped, and the three of us rushed to the car. But when the driver asked for the address, I was shocked to realize it was my sister Ball. Ball stared at my outfit, then glanced at Ken in astonishment. She angrily shouted, "Leia, how dare you disobey me and sneak out? Go home, now." I pleaded, "I'm sorry about that, but can you at least bring my friends home?" "No, leave now." No matter how much I begged, Ball chased Luna and Ken out of the car and drove me home. Luna called me shortly after. "Leia, seriously? You left me with a drunken Ken in the street." "Listen to me, Lou. I didn't mean to. It was my sister who forced me to do it." "Your sister is a control freak." Luna hung up the phone in exasperation, and I was very angry with my sister. "Why do you always have to control me? I'm 15 already. You abandoned my friends and made me embarrassed. Now they all hate me." Ball was pissed off. "So, why did you disobey me? And how did you sneak out? I locked the door from the outside." Soon after, Ball rummaged through the house and found my homemade ladder outside the window. She immediately installed a solid barrier there, preventing me from sneaking out. And that's not all. All the other windows in the house were made like that. Ugh, she's just too much. Since that day, I had been locked at home. Ball took me to school and drove me home every day. I was like a prisoner. After learning about my situation, Luna and Ken forgave me. I sighed. If I can't go out this weekend, I'll go crazy. Luna suddenly smiled. Let's rescue our locked-in princess. We'll go on a picnic in the suburbs this weekend. How? Easy peasy. We'll call a locksmith. Great idea. It only took a while for the locksmith to saw off my house's lock. We happily hugged each other and quickly jumped into Ken's car. Ken suddenly hesitated. What if your sis caught you again? Relax, it's the weekend. She'll work all day. It's fine, as long as I'm home before 11 p.m. Having said that, we immediately sped off, heading towards the outskirts of the city. We played music loudly and cheered excitedly after the successful escape. Luna suggested opening the ceiling door and standing up to get some fresh air. I excitedly agreed. Ken drove while Luna and I were standing and celebrating. But unfortunately, when we were crossing a boulevard, I caught sight of Ball picking up guests. "Leah, stop!" She yelled my name and quickly got in the car to follow us. I panicked and urged Ken, "Run! Ball is chasing us!" The chase was extremely intense. Suddenly, Ball darted forward, squeezing and blocking our car. She jumped down and punched the car door. "Get down here right now, Leah!" Suddenly, Ball's customer came out of her car. She was shaking. Her face was green from motion sickness and she kept scolding Ball. "You're nuts. If you don't drive me to my location right now, I'll call your manager. You'll be fired." Darn! Ball was so busy chasing me that she forgot about her customer. Faced with that threat, she had to return to work but didn't forget to warn me. "I'll be home in 30 minutes. If you're not there, you're done." Then she sped away. I looked at my two friends dejectedly. I gotta go back. She'd end me if I didn't. But another disaster occurred when I got home. The door was left open. The furniture was turned upside down and a bunch of valuables were stolen. Shoot! After breaking the lock, I was so excited to leave that I forgot to lock the door. What's worse, the thief hadn't left. He rushed over to cover my mouth. "Don't scream." He tied me up in a corner and ran away. Moments later, Ball came home, looking at the messy house. She rushed in, repeatedly calling, "Leah? Leah, where are you?" I thought she was going to yell at me, but as soon as she saw me, Ball broke down and cried. She then untied me while trembling. "Thank God. Are you okay? What just happened?" "I'm fine, but our belongings are gone. A thief broke in and tied me up." "It's okay. As long as you're safe. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to return in time to save my loved one again." Ball broke down again. The day our dad had a stroke, I was partying with my friends. I didn't answer his call and couldn't come back in time to take him to the ER. "Is that why you always forbade me from going out?" "Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just too scared to repeat that mistake." It was then that I realized how much my sister loved me and wanted to protect me. I softly touched her hand. "I'm also sorry for disobeying you. I only need you to listen to me more." Then we hugged each other tightly. After that, Ball listened and respected my wishes more. Fortunately, the police quickly captured the thief and forced him to return the stolen items. Everything finally got better for us. I feel so lucky to have Ball by my side. Sis, if you're listening to this, I love you.
That day, when our band was practicing in Susan's garage, suddenly her mom showed up angrily.
"Get out of here! You guys always make too much noise!"
She let out a scream so loud that it made us panic. We quickly packed up and ran away. Hi, I'm Lila, 17 years old. My dream is to become a famous singer. In high school, Susan, David, and I formed a small band together. However, because we had no money, we faced a lot of difficulties. In order to have a place to practice, I asked the principal to set up a music club. But because there were not at least 5 members, he refused. In the end, we had to use an old warehouse that David found as our base. That day, when we were practicing, suddenly Susan's organ broke down. David and I tried to fix it, but it didn't work. Susan grumbled to me,
"Lila, you're the leader. Do something. We can't practice in this dump."
"Isn't it your mom who kicked us out?"
"Do not blame her. She let us use the garage for a long time. You're so ungrateful."
That was quickly followed with a heated argument between us. Although David tried to calm us down, neither Susan nor I would make up. Not long after that, she left the band and stopped talking to me. In order to maintain the band, a few days later, I decided to post a notice to recruit new members. We went for a week without any application. While we were desperately looking at our rotten posters, suddenly David remembered his old friend, Arta, and assured that she was very talented. I also know Ada. We studied a few classes together. My only impression of her was that she looked like a timid nerdy with thick glasses. I never thought she could play music. But anyway, we were short on people, so David and I convinced Arda to join the band. It took a lot of work for us to get her on board. That weekend, we met at the practice site, and while Arda and I had been there for a long time, David didn't arrive until much later. I angrily asked David, "Why are you so late?"
Simmer down. You guys gotta see this.
David said and showed us his phone. Inside was a TikTok girl cosplaying a Japanese anime character and dancing. He excitedly told us,
This legend is called Moth. Although no one knows her real face, each of her cosplay videos has millions of views and gets in top trending on TikTok. Everyone's crazy about her.
I grunted. It's unfair. While that cute girl dances in front of everyone and has millions of views, no one notices us no matter how hard we practice, which has nothing to do with you being late. I hit David on the head with my hand. When I turned to Ada, her face suddenly changed color. She quickly smiled at us and gathered the band to practice. At 7 p.m., the three of us parted and went home. Since Arda and I were going in the same direction, we decided to walk together. We were chatting happily when suddenly a man bumped into Arda and made her fall to the ground. He was so rude that he didn't even apologize and just simply left. Immediately, I helped Arda to her feet and picked up the dropped items from her bag. However, I was shocked when I saw that she had a lot of makeup and wigs. And what struck me most was the mask decorated like a moth. It was too similar to that of the hot TikTok moth girl. Seeing me holding the mask, Arda hastily snatched it back. Arda, are you Moth? I timidly asked her and she shyly admitted it. She confessed that cosplaying was her hobby, but she never dared to reveal it to anyone. Therefore, she became Moth, a mysterious cosplayer on TikTok, to express her desires. Arda pleaded, "Can you help me keep it a secret?" "Sure, don't worry." From that day on, Arda and I became closer. Since I was the only one who knew her secret, Arda freely shared everything with me, including that she was frequently bothered by her fans. There were many friends willing to spend a lot of money for her to do some challenges. She found it annoying, so she always refused it. Soon after, a contest for young bands was coming up. It was a great opportunity for us to introduce ourselves in the public. However, we didn't have stage costumes and our sound system was terrible. We fell into depression because we didn't have much money to cover all that. Suddenly, I remembered that Arda had a lot of devoted fans, so I asked her, "Hey, remember the fans willing to donate money for you to fulfill their requests? Can you do that to help the band out?" "I don't think it's a good idea. Please, we need this opportunity. We can only count on you." I know I shouldn't force Arda to do that, but for the sake of the band, I was relentless in convincing her. In the end, Arda accepted the fans' challenges. The first few were simple requests such as wearing custom makeup or sexy clothes. Then there were more bizarre challenges. After about a week, we made a decent amount, but still not enough to pay for everything. Unexpectedly, a fan asked Moth to reveal her real face to them in private. If she agreed, she would receive a large amount of money. Arda worriedly asked my opinion. "Lila, do you think I should do this? Just one more time and we'll have enough money to prepare for the music competition. Are you sure this is a good idea? Don't worry, I'll be by your side." In the end, she reluctantly complied with that request. And indeed, they sent us a huge amount of money. What we didn't expect, however, was that the fan had published Arda's information on social media. When everyone knew that Moth was Arda, they began to spy on her, digging her past up, causing her life to be turned upside down. The most lunatic one was a fan named Nikki2000, who often harassed her through text. He always threatened to kidnap her. That day, while at home, Arda suddenly called me. She scaredly said that she was in the practice room alone and spotted a shadow running by the window. The black shadow lurking around the practice room made her utterly terrified. "What if it's Nikki2000? Lila, please come save me." I rushed to the practice room and saw Arda sitting alone, cowering in fear. When I was about to bring her home, suddenly the light went out. We hugged each other tightly and screamed at the top of our lungs. A maniac laugh came out, then the lights turned on. I opened our eyes and found out that it was Susan, the former member of our band.
Susan, what the hell are you doing?
Isn't it obvious? I'm teaching you a lesson.
How dare you replace me? Don't be so childish. You left us on your own.
Susan and I got into a big argument again. When I turned to Arda, suddenly I discovered that my friend was lying on the ground. Arda's face was gray and she was breathing hard. Soon after, she passed out. Realizing that something was wrong, Susan and I immediately called an ambulance. Fortunately, Arda was treated in time. The doctor said that she was too nervous and scared. After more than 4 hours of being unconscious, she finally woke up. Susan shyly apologized. I'm sorry, I overdid my joke and made you like this. I also mustered up the courage to apologize. No, it's my fault. I knew that revealing your true identity would cause you trouble. But because of my selfishness, I urged you to do it anyway. I'm really sorry, Arda. I took advantage of you. I was so ashamed that my face turned red. It's okay, I chose to do it myself. I was just so happy to help the band. Hearing that, I burst into tears and hugged Arda. Even Susan sobbed along with us. That scene was pretty funny, actually. But it's nice that all misunderstandings had finally been cleared up. In the end, because Arda wasn't fully healed, our band missed the music competition. But I'm not too upset about it, because I know that our friendship is much more valuable. I also made up with Susan and invited her to rejoin the band. Now we are practicing for next year's music competition, and I'm sure with this group of talented people, our band will achieve great results. When I was trying to finish homework, my sister's horrible music interrupted me. I angrily went to her room and pulled her electric guitar jack out of the outlet.
What the hell?
Be quiet! You're bothering me!
You brat!
Amy grabbed a nearby pillow and threw it at me. I immediately rushed over to my obnoxious sister and beat her up. Hi, I'm Brenna. I live in a small town with my single dad and twin sister. Even though Amy and I share the same look, we have completely different personalities. While I'm a careful, orderly, and throughout person, my sister is playful, disruptive, and loves noisy crowds. Although she's quite popular for being the lead singer of a school band, to me, Amy was just a nuisance who lacked discipline. One day, Dad suddenly informed me that my trip to summer science camp would have to be cancelled. The reason? Amy was about to participate in a big music competition at school. She already asked him for money to buy costumes and new instruments for her group.
Sorry, Brenna. The expenses are a lot, so I can't pay for both of you. Can you give it to Amy this time?
It's absurd! Why do we have to pay for her whole group? Hearing that, Amy frowned.
Don't be so selfish, princess. You only think of yourself.
Well, how about you? You made Dad lose a bunch of money with your crap band. Then we crazily shouted at each other. It only ended when Dad chased us back to our room. That night, my sister once again brought up the matter to mock me. Come see our performance. Promise it's better than your boring science fair. Ugh. To get revenge on Amy, I purposely added peanuts, something she's allergic to, in her food. Every time she eats that, she'll be itchy for hours. I smiled smugly thinking about that. But damn, it seems I was wrong. After eating, Amy wasn't only itchy, but her face got swollen and red. Dad had to take Amy to the hospital right after that. Fortunately, she was not in danger, but the doctor said that her face would take a few weeks to return to its original state. Amy panicked when she heard that and became furious when I confessed the truth. Sorry, Amy. I swear I didn't mean this.
You stupid dumpling! How can I perform with a swollen face?
Suddenly, Amy looked at me with calculated eyes.
You will replace me.
What? Nonsense! I can't even sing! Amy told me I only needed to lip sync and she would be the one who does the actual singing. To make up for what I did, I had to agree. The very next day, Amy took me to see her band. She wanted us to perform flawlessly in front of the judges. I also had to learn to imitate her performance style. It was too difficult for a newbie like me, but I gotta say, the whole experience made me see Amy in a new light. She was no longer a noisy sister who always messed up. Instead, she became serious and dedicated. Amy ran from side to side to instruct everyone. She did everything, from composing, arranging to guiding the performance. It was the first time I knew my sister was so multi-talented. One day, while taking a break, Alex, the drummer, suddenly bought me a soft drink. Here, as a thank you. For what? For being awesome! Your fam supported us with so much money. It's a big help since we're all broke kids with big dreams. Amy brought us all together and kept the band up to this day. I was so surprised to hear that. Now I understand why Amy asked Dad for money for the whole band and why he agreed. I suddenly felt extremely regretful for my actions and quietly promised to help her fulfill her wish. A few days later, the competition finally took place. As planned, I pretended to be Amy and stepped out while she stood behind the stage. As the music came on, I took a deep breath and started performing. Everything went smoothly and the judges seemed impressed. But then, the guitarist accidentally bumped into me, causing the mic in my hand to fall to the ground. Everyone gasped when they discovered that I was lip-syncing. Soon after, they kicked us all out. Seeing everyone's depression, I decided I had to do something to correct my mistake. Taking advantage of the time when the guard was distracted, I rushed up to the stage, trying to beg for a chance for my sister's band. Just because of my selfishness, I made my sister lose her chance to perform. I know I did the wrong thing, but didn't her voice just now stir you up? Please give her a chance to perform again. At my pleas, the jury surprisingly agreed. They let Amy's band perform again. Standing on the stage, although her face was still swollen, Amy still showed her best. In the end, Amy and her bandmate won second place. A few weeks later, her face returned to normal. Amy and I understand each other much better now, and I just love my sister so much. So much.